Welcome back to GRTV News. I thought I'd start out with some of the more predictable news this week, which is that EA has announced Skate 3, which will be released in May next year. The game will focus on building a skate crew, both online and offline, and, well, skating through a whole new city. And it's being developed, just like always, by Black Box and released by EA Sports for the Xbox 360 and PlayStation 3. Now for some less predictable news. The presumed dead publisher Interplay has announced a sequel to their classic game Clayfighter. The game will be released for DSiWare and Wiiware, and it's being developed by Studio Black Games and Eric Hart, a programmer who worked on the first Clayfighter. More Interplay news this week, since publisher Bethesda, who owns the Fallout license, has decided to sue them over breaching a licensing contract. It seems like Bethesda aren't all that happy with the marketing and naming of the so-called Fallout trilogy, which contains Fallout 1, 2 and Fallout Tactics, which isn't all that surprising since they have Fallout 3 still on the shelves. But there's more to that story. Of course, it seems like Bethesda are also suing Interplay because of the rights for the Fallout MMO. One of the conditions that Interplay had for being able to develop the MMO was that they were going to acquire enough funds, something that Bethesda claims they haven't. So we'll just have to see if the so-called Project V13 will survive or not. Konami has announced that they're bringing a remake of the Game Boy title Castlevania The Adventure to Wiiware later this fall. We're expecting quite a different looking game, just like with Contra Rebirth, but it's really nice to see Konami caring for their old heritage. When Swedish game developer GRIN went bankrupt, plans and concepts for a game called Fortress leaked onto the internet. That's more or less expected when a developer goes belly up. We saw the same thing with Duke Nukem Forever, for example, a couple of months ago. But what is the most interesting about this story is that game site Kotaku claims that the game was actually a spin-off of Final Fantasy. This may or may not be true, we don't really know, but independent sources have confirmed for Gamereactor that the game was supposed to be published by Square Enix. Now, sadly for us and for Fortress, GRIN never managed to secure a second contract and thus got caught up in the financial troubles. The holidays are coming, which means holiday announcements. This week we have Microsoft, who has announced 2 bundles for the holiday season, one with Call of Duty Modern Warfare 2 and one with Forza Motorsport 3. The Call of Duty bundle will include 2 wireless controllers, a 250GB hard drive and a specially designed console, and it will retail at $399 in the US. No word on if and when the 250GB hard drive will be sold separately though. And in closing, Madden NFL 10 was the hottest game in the US during the month of August, selling 1.9 million copies. Also, a new Silent Hill film has been announced. It's going to be made by the same people who were responsible for the actually quite decent first movie. Let the Flame Fest begin there. Also, Square Enix has announced that they're going to bring the previously Xbox 360 exclusive Star Ocean: The Last Hope to PlayStation 3, and Sony Online Entertainment will be bringing Free Realms, their new popular free-to-play MMO, to the PlayStation 3 next year. It might or might not use the PlayStation Eye. Word is also from Austin Game Developers Conference that they might actually be working on a Facebook MMO. We'll just have to see. That's everything we had for you this week. Tune in next week.